Hello, my loves. I just wanted to come in on my first day of Discipline to Dominion. So, here's what Discipline to Dominion is for those of you who do not know, because I think I've posted this everywhere, but not all of you guys follow me on different social media. So, if this is your first time hearing about it, I have been looking at 75 hard for a long time. I'm not a long time. I would say for like the past month and a half, 2 months. And I've been wanting to do it, but to be honest, it just sounds a little bit unrealistic for me. I'm not gonna lie, it does. Um, One, I don't have the time or the discipline right now to work out two different times for 45 minutes a day. Two, I've just gotten into the consistency of going to the gym and working out and then coming back in the house and doing my yoga. So forcing myself to work out every day once outside is just not going to work. Now, I could definitely take a walk outside instead of doing my 30 minutes on the treadmill, but I do enjoy my incline for the treadmill. It helps me to build the muscle and work on that parts of my body that I want to work on. So I want to be consistent in that. I'm not saying I'm opposed to working out outside. I know I love being outside. So I think I will do like a hike once or twice a week, or like an outdoor walk once or twice a week, maybe 3 times, but it's not going to be an everyday thing. Two, with 75 hard, uh, if you fall off or stop doing something, then you have to start over. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want to get through my 75 days, do the best that I can, and then if I fall off, I fall off. I get back on the wagon. I might start over if I fall off, but probably not. Another thing is drinking a gallon of water a day. I'm not about to drink a gallon of water a day. I drink a lot of water in the day. I maybe drink like 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day, but I'm not going to drink a gallon. Why am I not going to drink a gallon? Well, I already eat primarily fruits and vegetables in my diet. I have been a pescatarian for the past 2 years. Before that, I was a 10 years vegetarian. So my diet is primarily plant-based. I get a lot of water content from what I eat. And I just don't feel the need to drink a whole gallon of water a day. I feel like it's going to make me sick. It's going to make me feel full and nauseous all the time. And I just don't want to deal with that. So that's another thing that I'm taking out. Everything else is kind of in alignment with 75 hard. I've just added my own aspects to it because I wanted this also to be more of a spiritual challenge. Ooh, I just ran over my foot with my chair and it hurts. Woo. Okay. All right, so here's what I'm gonna be doing, you guys. Here's what I'm gonna be doing. I am going to be waking up every single morning at 5:30 a.m. with no exceptions. The only day that I will give myself an exception is on Saturdays, because Saturday is my off day, it's my Sabbath. And I think I should be able to rest for as long as I want to rest. I will be in the bed at 11:30 every night. I am a night owl. My sleep schedule will be all over the place. All over the place, especially with me being an entrepreneur and I don't have to like adhere to a certain set schedule, even though I do kind of have a schedule. My sleep schedule is all over the place. I'm putting it into that to create more structure, not only in my sleep schedule, but in my day. So we're getting up at 5:30 in the morning. We're going to bed at 11:30, period. I don't care what's going on. Unless I'm not at home for whatever reason, I will be going to bed at 11:30. And if I'm not at home and I can get home by 11:30, I will be doing that. I don't really go out as it is, so it's not like there's a lot of times where I'm out until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If that happens maybe 1 or 2 days out of this 75 days, I'm not gonna be mad. But me being in the house, take my ass to bed 11:30. So that's 2 things. Another thing is I will be reading 10 pages from a spiritual book every single day. I thought about buying new books for this challenge because there's some new spiritual books that I want to read. But then I was like, you know what? You have so many spiritual books already that you have read that would be great to revisit during this. And I read something, or not read something, but I saw something on Instagram that was like, after every chapter of a book, like put the knowledge that you gain from the book into application. So I think I want to try doing that as I go through this challenge. And so the book that I'm revisiting right now for this, probably the rest of this week, honestly, I might switch next week, or I might just go through this whole book. I'll probably read more like 15 to 20 pages a day instead of 10, because that's just me. But this is what I'm reading currently. This is what I read today for day one. I read the first 15 pages of this book, actually. So I'm going to be reading 10 pages from a spiritual book every day. I will be fasting for the first 3 days of every month. So starting today, I am fruit and water fasting. All I'm going to be having is fruit and water. That's it. I know it's the weekend. I know we're going to be social. We're going to be out. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But for me, this is something that I started in May, and I'm going to stick with it for the rest of this year. I figure why not incorporate it into this challenge. So for the first 3 days of September, first 3 days of October, first 3 days of November, fruit and water only. Okay, this challenge is going to go from today up until the 15th of November. That will complete our 75 days. So fast for the first 3 days of the month. In addition to fasting for the first 3 days of the month, I will be fasting between the hours of 8:30 p.m. and 11:30 a.m. every single day. I only eat like one meal a day, typically. So I already don't really eat as it is, but I want to have I want my body to be on a more consistent digestion schedule. And when I do eat, it's all over the place. Like I might have a big meal at 4 o'clock, or I might not have a big meal until 8:30 or 7:30. And it's just like, it's cool. Like I'm not in a bad habit of like eating late or snacking late. Like sometimes I do, but it's not that bad to where I feel convicted for it. But what I do feel convicted about is not being on a consistent schedule of when I'm feeding and nurturing my body. And intermittent fasting helps me to be able to do that. In the past, when I've done intermittent fasting, it really helped my energy levels a lot. And so I wanted to incorporate that as well. So again, between 8:30 p.m. and 11:30 a.m., I will not be eating. And that's every single day that I'm going to follow that, even on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday. The only thing that I'll do maybe is have some water and fruit, if I feel like I'm just about to die, I'm hungry and I just need it. But otherwise, I will abstain. I will not be eating any processed foods. Just to clarify, what is processed foods? Chips, cookies, refined sugar, instant rice, instant noodles, frozen foods that are prepackaged and already made and processed. I'm pretty much gonna be only eating whole foods. So fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, beans, nuts, seeds. Okay. I may eat fish occasionally still, but I already don't eat fish every day like that as it is. So, if I eat it, I eat it. If I don't, I don't. But everything else will be whole foods. I will be limiting my dairy intake. I want to completely cut out dairy, but I'm just not ready for that yet. And I'm not going to be unrealistic with myself. So what I will do is, instead of me eating dairy every single day, I will limit myself to maybe once or twice a week, or, every other week or something like that, to where I'm eating less dairy. Because I eat cheese. I mean, I don't drink milk, but I eat cheese almost every day, and I need to lessen my cheese intake. And I don't use like dairies when I cook, except for butter. But like all the milks and heavy cream and stuff like that, if I cook with that, it's usually non-dairy anyway. But like I have to cut back on the cheese, and I will not be eating any sugar. No artificial refined sugars at all. If it's not a natural source of sugar like fruit, I'm not eating it. And then as far as alcohol, I will be limiting my alcohol intake. Probably won't be drinking any hard liquor. I might have some wine here and there over the 75 days. But yeah, that's as far as diet, what I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to start my mornings every single day with 45 minutes to an hour of movement, meditation, and prayer. And I'm going to end each day the exact same way. So what I've been doing so far is I'll get out of bed, immediately I'll get dressed, I'll go to the gym. When I come back in from the gym, I do my yoga. When I finish my yoga, I journal, and then I will go on about my day. So doing this in the morning is not going to be hard for me because I've kind of already been building up the routine, but I do have to start incorporating reading into that. And sometimes with reading, I can get a little distracted because it's like a certain part jumps out at me, and then I want to highlight it, I want to take notes, I want to pick up my journal, and I'm on to something else, somewhere else. So what I think I'm going to do starting tomorrow for the rest of this remainder of this challenge is get up, read my passage and journal first, and then go to the gym, do my workout, and do my yoga in the mornings. In the evenings, I have an alarm that goes off at 7:30. I'm going to change it to 8:30 because I'm usually in the middle of doing something at 7:30. And so I just turn the alarm off and go about my business. But I've been having this alarm for like a year because I've been supposed to do this stuff. So I'm going to change the alarm to 8:30. And when my 8:30 alarm goes off, I'm going to come into my office. I'm going to do my yoga. I'm going to do probably about 10 to 15 minutes with my weighted hula hoop. I'm going to do some journaling to release my thoughts for the same day, say me a prayer, and then I will go on about the rest of my night if I still have time before it's time for me to get in the bed for 11:30. That's going to be my morning and night routine. I will be journaling every single day, physically actually writing in my journal, in my notebook, and I will be doing a video diary every day. So this is today's video diary. As far as how do I feel today, I feel great. I feel blessed. I feel like I am making the right decision by doing this. Spirit has definitely been talking to me about discipline, about dominion, about consistency. And I'm just to the point now where I don't have a choice but to surrender to it. I don't have a choice but to surrender to it. And I'm to the point where I'm sick of myself. I'm sick of myself procrastinating. I'm sick of myself not having any structure. I'm sick of myself not being able to stick to a schedule. I'm sick of myself not holding myself accountable for my fitness goals. And so because of that, I'm doing this challenge to prove to myself that I can do it, because I know I can. I just, for whatever reason, have been hands off about it. But I'm putting my hands back on. God has put his hands on me, and I'm putting my hands back on myself, because it's just time. It's time for me to do it. I'm always telling y'all, like, you have to do the work, you have to do the work, you have to do the work. And I am always doing the work, spiritually speaking, but I don't always go into the physical aspect of things. And so Spirit has been really pushing me to be more physical in my spiritual pursuits. And that's exactly why I'm doing this challenge, because I need to teach my flesh that my flesh does not have dominion over me. I have dominion over my flesh. Okay? Spirit has dominion over my flesh. I am not controlled by the needs of my flesh. I don't care if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, if I'm sad, if I'm angry. I should still be able to show up as the best version of myself, as the highest version of myself. I should still be able to keep my promises to myself, because that's what the person I'm becoming would do. Now, that may not be true for all of you, but that is true for me. And so I have to hold myself accountable for being that person, even when I don't feel like it. So that's a huge part of the reason why I'm going to be doing this. Another thing is, I keep telling y'all this, but fasting and prayer is life-changing and revolutionizing. It truly, truly is. And I feel like I have to fast and pray. I'm gonna be fasting and praying anyway, but documenting my journey and holding myself accountable by putting this out into the public, it makes me feel like I have to do it. Like I don't really have a choice. Not because I don't want to disappoint y'all. I don't want to disappoint myself or embarrass myself by not doing what I said I was gonna do. So that's why I'm filming this. And that's why I've been talking about it every day, and I'm posting my yoga sequences in time lapse, and you guys will start seeing me post some of my workouts in time lapse and shorts. I'm not at an editing point where I'm willing to sit down and edit videos and string this and that together. I don't have time for that right now. But what I will do is you can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Threads. I'll continue to post little things there if you guys need to see me actually moving. Maybe once a week or so, I'll do the movement and meditation with you guys that I would do in the morning or something like that. But more than anything, I just want to come and talk about my experience, talk about how I'm feeling, and keep myself motivated. This video diary really is to just show the transformation that I'm about to go through, because I know it's going to be profound and I need to document it with my voice, and I also need to document it with my words. So I'll be journaling and filming a video diary every day. That's pretty much it as far as the challenge and what I'm going to be doing for the challenge. So to make it simple, create a bedtime and a wake up time for yourself. Read 10 pages of a spiritual book. Fast for the first 3 days of every month. Choose a diet that you want to stick to. Move your body 45 minutes a day in the morning and 45 minutes a day in the evening. Also, journal. If you don't want to film, fine, but you need to be journaling. I did want to come to you guys and give you guys a message that I got from this book today. So there was a few things that I highlighted, and I'm just gonna give you guys all of what I highlighted because it's all kind of connected. So again, this is the book, okay? But says, it's frightening to be a true seeker. That's why it takes courage. Have you ever done something that you were afraid to do or wanted to accomplish something but told yourself it was impossible? Do you have a multitude of ideas but no action? What is missing in all these scenarios is courage. Courage within speaks to the challenge. Courage within speaks to the challenge, the resistance we put up in letting go of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that limit us. None of what we do in life or admire in others will be possible without courage. Courage makes things happen. That's Ashe. So she's saying, like, have the courage to do what you feel is impossible. Have the courage to rise to the challenge of being the person that you're becoming instead of who you think you are. Have the courage to step outside of the box that you have put yourself in and that other people have put you in. That is Ashe. That is movement. That is energy. That is life force. Then she says, is it magic that makes some people's lives appear more comfortable? I learned that luck means to labor under correct knowledge. Without correct knowledge at our disposal, we discover our energy centers known as chakras. Chakras are not an abstraction, but spiritual resources, tools, and instruments that cure, heal, and eradicate our suffering. Chock full of chakras takes us into our divine gifts our divine gifts of 7 major energy centers, what they are, what they do, and how they impact our physical body. How many of us have been How many of us have a feeling of being stuck with thoughts that nothing is going right? If we open ourselves to energy, we may feel the unblocking of our thoughts and emotions holding us back. So that's another thing. I did not highlight this, but I do want to read this to you guys. She says, when we do, wait, let me go back a little bit so y'all can know what she's talking about. So suddenly I realized that just as our fingerprints and DNA differentiate us, so do our unique experiences. And that's all right. But the larger question is to rise above the experiences into a higher consciousness. When we do, we activate spirit. We activate spirit. With all that I've shared, only through our personal transformation and understanding, self-knowledge, and healing can we activate our spirit. Western yoga has produced over 52,746 teachers, but how many activated spirits has it produced? Even though all of our experiences are essentially spiritual, we still highlight the material, the physical. Spirit becomes self-evident with a spiritual guide, a guru, a walumu, who transforms our misunderstandings into understanding. Much gratitude goes to all my teachers, some living and others as ancestors. From my personal revelation to activating spirit, Ashe, the power to do came to life. Ashe, an energy word we seldom hear, resonated with me. Ashe, as a word of power, ought not to be underestimated because of its inherent power. We use Ashe daily, albeit unconsciously, in our every activity. Now we begin to explore Ashe consciously, not simply as a call and response, but as a practice. In doing so, we unseal our hearts, regulate our breathing, and move our bodies energetically. We also calm our minds, activate our parasympathetic nervous systems, enhance our interactions with one another, take care of ourselves, declutter our lives physically and emotionally. We attract success, wellness, and love into our lives. So she's telling you that with energy healing, with movement, with breath, you can heal, you can get unstuck. And it's like, I needed to read this today because it just gave me confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. I'm moving into the right direction. And then I also highlighted this. And then I think I'm gonna give y'all this and I'm gonna leave it that. So it says, forgiveness is not simple because our mind draws us. Forgiveness is not simple because our mind draws us to what we didn't have rather than what we do have. Our mind pulls us towards self-pity, anger, revenge, and stubbornness. However, only through forgiveness could I pay homage to my birth mother, to my divine mother, and let go of this existential suffering. Sure, we think some experiences are unforgivable, and yet those are the ones we need to forgive the most, because the longer the experience stays with us as a form of suffering, the greater damage we inflict upon ourselves. Last two things I highlighted. She said, over time, I found out that anger is actually violent towards oneself and fuels a wrong way of thinking that results in negative behavior. That's to say, anger harms us not only physically, but also psychologically and spiritually. And then she says, when we think about anger, we think of someone raging, hurting others, exploding. But some anger is quiet, unassuming, and passive. Yet regardless of the expression, active or passive, we are hurting ourselves. How do we resolve our anger? Do we immerse ourselves in being workaholics or engage in something to do in a relationship? Do we accumulate degrees to validate our worth? Or do we create an image of ourselves that's superficial, from doing what didn't work and wasting my time by putting off dealing with my emotional issues. What was evident is that only a spiritual practice dissolves anger. With the spiritual practice comes understanding. I have told you all time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. You must surrender to spirit. You must be consistent. You must be disciplined. You must have some type of organization and flow in what it is that you're doing, spiritually speaking. Because your spirit has to be the authority over your mind. Your spirit has to be the authority over your body. You are spirit before you are flesh. So, if you think that you can just neglect spiritual organization, spiritual structure, spiritual discipline, and everything is going to work out, I'm here to tell you it's not. It's absolutely not. So, that was the message that I got for today from this book. Like I said, I'll probably be continuing this throughout the week with the same book. If there's anything else profound that comes out, I will definitely let you guys know. Okay, so in my journal today, I wrote out what I plan to do for the challenge. Like, I wrote it out plain in black and white. And then I said, I can do this and it will lead to abundant new beginnings and change me for the better. God, I trust your leadership right now, and I know that you will not lead me astray. I thank you for your patience with me, for your grace, and for your favor. I know I can do all things through you. How you see yourself, because... No. I know that I can do all things through you. And then I wrote, Woman Evolve equals how you see yourself, because if you don't see yourself correctly, it is hard to convince other people of something you don't believe. And you may not believe simply because of the nagging voices of your history devouring your destiny. You may not believe because of the nagging voices of your history devouring your destiny. God can use you and will use you. Don't ever let anyone tell you different. By God's grace and glory, I am empowered. I stay within the sphere of grace God has called me to walk in. I do not allow my natural affections or love to pull me away from the divine assignment in my life. The Lord is the Spirit, and wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The Holy Spirit is everywhere, which means that in reverence, respect, and obedience, grace and glory are everywhere. There are no limits with the cosmic energy. There are no limits with this cosmic energy. I ask God to show me the light, open the path, and shine through with grace to give me your direction. I ask that God continue to show me grace, glory, and favor. I ask that God grant me the wisdom and discipline in order to bring dominion and bring community into kingdom. I ask that God cleanse me of who I was and renew me into who I am becoming. Lead me, O God, with your grace into purpose, into love, into community. God, take my shame, my guilt, my feelings of inferiority, and fill me with your strength and your grace. And then I write it down and make it plain. And I wrote a few intentions out, some things that I expect to see manifest from doing this challenge, from being obedient, from surrendering. I'm not going to tell you guys what I wrote because Spirit is just telling me not to. But at the end of my journal, I wrote, I don't know why God keeps showing up and showing out for me. I declare over the next year that my life, my glow, and my glory, by the grace of God, will be transformed. I thank God for giving my voice power, reach, and ability to heal. God, give me the clarity to prophesy properly and transform through your Holy Spirit as we descend deeper into the underworld for transformation, renewal, and revival. I am not alone. I thank you, God, for the spirit of boldness. Thank you for chasing me into grace, into spirit, and into glory. So that was just a prayer that I wrote this morning after writing out what I intend to do for this challenge. And I just wanted to ask God to give me discipline, ask God to push me to be consistent and give me clarity, give me direction so that I don't get lost and get into my own way. So that's where I'm at. That's what we doing. I will be back tomorrow with day 2, and we'll continue this for 75 days. If you want to join the challenge, comment on the video below. I will be dropping a blog today for my website subscribers and sending out an email with reminders and stuff like that for the challenge. So comment down below if you want to join with your email, and I will add you to the list. You guys have any questions for me, you can also drop those down in the comments below. And I will see you lovelies tomorrow.